Live from Stellos Stadium, it's another edition of Friday Night Football, this time featuring the Nashua North Titans and the visiting Pinkerton Academy Astros. Matt and Everett, Tom King joining you live. Nashua North coming in with a 3-2 record. Pinkerton comes in the number 3 ranked team in the state, a 4-1 record. And Tom, their lone loss to number 1 ranked Salem at Salem. This is going to be a staunch opponent for the Titans tonight.
Yeah, and ironically, Salem will be in town tomorrow night to play BG. But I think that this is where we're going to see, basically, I think, how good Pinkerton is. This is a test for them. Now, they handled Londonderry very well. Londonderry hasn't matched up well with Pinkerton in several years. But this Nashua North team is coming off a very, very, probably their best performance of the season so far in a 45-20 win over Merrimack. They were shut down defensively. They played great defense, and they were able to run the ball to turn their offense into their best defense by keeping the ball away from Merrimack and the Eichmann brothers. Watch, R.J. Jenkins, obviously, he got on track. You knew it was Nashua North's night up front when Jenkins got sprung for a 65-yard touchdown run to start the game. Once that happens, Merrimack is back, a team is back on its heels. Can they do the same tonight? I don't know, Matt. Pinkerton's, as good as we knew they'd be good this year. We knew they wouldn't miss the playoffs 2 years in a row. They've got some speed. They've got some size. They've got numbers. Look at that roster. It goes all the way down a page. This is what you expect from a school that's the largest high school in the state. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, and we saw a couple of weeks ago what happens when R.J. Jenkins does not get it going for Nashua North in that Battle of the Bridge, a game in which Nashua South won 34-15. So it'll be key to get R.J. Jenkins going early and often. Nashua North comes in 2-9 all-time against Pinkerton. The last time that these two schools faced off was on the 10th of October in 2014, and it was a 51-0 win for the Astros. So history.
Just don't say that too loud. The head coach of that team is right down the way. So here in the press box, Jason Roby. So don't say too loud, Matt.
History not on the side of the Titans tonight. But what's going to be your X factor, Tom?
My X factor, I think, is going to be Mike Lovelace, the quarterback. I think that in terms of how he plays, if he's able to basically run a little bit, take the pressure off of Jenkins, take the pressure off of Brian Montmany, who also had a great game. He had 119 yards last week against Merrimack. And I think that's the X factor. Plus, North's offensive line, 2 freshmen played on that line last week. A freshman playing varsity football in the city of Nashua usually does not happen. And they had 2. The times have changed. These rosters are much smaller than they used to be. So I think that those are the X factors as well. But Lovelace has got to be able to keep things under control. He's the X factor, I think. If he has a good game, North wins it.
You talked about getting on track. Nashua North won their first 2 games of the year over Timberlane and Alvern before dropping 2 consecutive to Londonderry and Nashua South. The big win against Merrimack last week gets them on track. They're 3-2 so far this year, 1-1 in the conference. They were 8-3 last year. How does this team compare to that squad from last season?
Well, last season's team had a very good line, but they had a quarterback in Jeff Baldessari who could really – he just came into his own in his senior year. They're hoping Lovelace does the same thing towards the end of this year and into next year. And they had some playmakers. Nashua North's got some playmakers this year. And Jenkins, he's come into his own. They've got Austin Ouellette, the receiver. But I don't know if the confidence up front was there coming into the game, what their offensive line was going to look like. Their offensive line had played pretty well last week. They really only had one bad game. In fact, I would say only one bad half all season long where they really underperformed, and that was against Nashua South the second half, because don't forget that was a tie game going into halftime.
Yeah, and the second half of that game,
whole different story.
Really dominated by the Panthers. The Titans really just did not get things going on the ground. When they were successful in the first half of that game, Jenkins was running. The first drive really for them was the difference maker. They were able to get 8 points on the first drive of that game.
It's pretty simple, Matt. If you can run the ball in high school football, you're going to win the game. You know why? Because you're going to pile up yards, you're going to score, and the other team all during that time is not going to have its offense on the field.
Time of possession,
that's the big thing. That's the whole deal.
And for Pinkerton, coming in today with a 4-1 record, taking on the 3-2 Nashua North Titans. beautiful night for football here at Stellos Stadium. We're going to step aside for the pregame announcements and the anthem, but when we return, kickoff between the Nashua North Titans and the Pinkerton Academy Astros.
And now the Nashua North Titan Band will perform the national anthem.
Welcome back. Stellos Stadium, Matt Neverett and Tom King with you tonight. The 3-2 Nashua North Titans take on the 4-1 visitors. That's the Pinkerton Academy Astros. The Astros coming off a 49-13 win against Bishop Girton at Pinkerton last week. BG will be taking on the #1 team in the state in Salem tomorrow night here from Stellos Stadium. And the Titans coming off an emphatic 45-20 win last week at Merrimack, a game in which they scored in all 4 quarters, ran the ball exceptionally well in the second half. And the captains meeting with the referees tonight. That's Brian Montmany and Austin Ouellette for the Nashua North Titans. On a beautiful night here for football at Stellos Stadium, 60 degrees, clear skies. This Pinkerton team, one that scores a lot, does not allow a lot of points. They're the #3 team in the state right now. They're only lost to Salem, who is currently #1 in the state of New Hampshire. Pinkerton with 180 points scored through 5 games. They've only allowed 61 points, and you look at Nashua North, 167 points for, 110 points allowed. And the captains for Pinkerton, #4, Caden Balgeron. And Nashua North will receive the ball. Heading towards the left on your screens at home. Captains for Pinkerton, Aiden Goujon, the quarterback, and Caden Balgeron, the 5'8", 160-pound star running back. Both teams getting pumped up for the start of this game. And it'll be Nashua North's offense heading out on the field to kick this game off. Again, Nashua North coming off a 45-20 win at Merrimack last week. They scored 17 points in the first quarter, so a good start imperative for the Titans if they want to walk out of here tonight with a win. In fact, only one of their 3 wins has featured them scoring less than 10 points in the first quarter, so the recipe for success for Nashua North, when they want to win, score early and score often. In the loss against Nashua South the week before, they didn't score in the first quarter, only 8 points in the second quarter. It was tied at the half at 8, and then they scored 7 points in the third quarter, and that would be yet a 34-15 loss in the Battle of the Bridge. Again, they would respond with a 45-20 win at Merrimack in last week's game, taking on Pinkerton Academy tonight. Meanwhile, the Nashua South Panthers are at Alvern. Game getting kicked off just about now. And Bishop Girton playing tomorrow night at 6 against Salem. They welcome in the #1 ranked team in the state of New Hampshire. Kickoff team out for Pinkerton. It'll be Sam Nichols back to receive the kick for Nashua North. And he's flanked by #3, Ryan Ali. Here's the kickoff, and we're underway from Stellos Stadium. Ali taking it at the 10-yard line. Busted up the middle. He's hit by a tackler at the 25-yard line and brought down, and that is where Nashua North will begin their drive. Mike Lovelace and company getting things started on the offense tonight. It'll be Lovelace and R.J. Jenkins, really the two X factors tonight for the Nashua North Titans. It'll be Brian Montmany split in the backfield to Lovelace's left. He now motions to the right. Lovelace set to take the snap at the 20-yard line. Two running backs to either side. He'll hand it off to the left, keep it up the middle, crosses the 25-yard line up to the 30, met by a tackler, and a gain of 5 on the rush for Lovelace on the first play of the game. That'll be Joshua Lapido, number 19. As the clock runs, same formation for Nashua North, 3 receivers to the right. No tight end set. Spreading things wide out early on. Lovelace calls for the snap. He'll take it. Play action to the right. He throws it down the field. It's Ouellette. Has it in his hands, but looked to be just outside, and it is called incomplete. Lovelace fired that one up under pressure. A good throw, but Ouellette just a foot or two out of bounds. It was number 21, Dylan Poulin, on the coverage. And just like that, a 3rd down and 5 to go. Make it 6 for the Titans on their first drive of the game. Spencer DeRosier in the backfield. He'll motion out to the right as Lovelace with the running back to his left, 2 receivers to either side. He'll take the snap, fake left, roll right on the screen. It's Ouellette just in front of the 30. He's met by a couple of tacklers and a 4th down upcoming for Nashua North. That'll be number 24, Nicholas Lombard, and the captain, Matthew Newman, on the tackle. So 3 and out for Nashua North on their first drive of the game, and it'll be number 2, Sam Nichols, the sophomore, back to punt. 2 Astros back to receive it. That's number 16, Ryan Ozier, and number 4, Caden Balgeron. A high punt, fair caught, but bobbled, and it is on the Nashua North side of the field, but recovered by Pinkerton. Disaster averted for the Astros. And that was number 21, Dylan Poulin, that fell on it. Had the coverage on the Ouellette incompletion and falls on the punt rather. That was botched, but a fortunate bounce for Pinkerton, and they'll take over at the Nashua North 44-yard line. Good field position. And it's the quarterback, Aiden Goujon, under center. The left-hander with 10 minutes and 35 seconds left to go in the first. He'll hand it off up the middle. That's Mara. Gennaro Mara up to the 40-yard line. A gain of 4 yards on the first snap of the game for Pinkerton.
2nd down and 6 for Pinkerton.
Clock running, 10:15 remaining in the first quarter. Nashua North with a 3 and out. Pinkerton, the number 3 team in the state, trying to get win number 5 on the year. Under center once again is the quarterback Goujon. He'll hand it off to the left. That's number 5, Mara. He's grabbed at about the 44-yard line, reversing field, and he's got some space across the 35, the 30. 2 men to beat, crossing the 20, inside the 10, and brought out of bounds. A long run on a reverse field. It was Curtis Harris, the freshman, on the tackle, knocking him out of bounds. First down of the game for either side, and it was an exciting one as Gennaro Mara took the handoff on a sweep to the right, cut it back to the left, and the quarterback, Goujon, throwing a nice block down the field. And that's a gain of over 20 yards for Pinkerton. Under center once again, it's the quarterback, Goujon. 2 running backs in the backfield. He'll hand it off up the middle, strongly wrapped up. That's number 76, Jordan Smith, on the tackle. Nicholas Lombard, the ball carrier, and called a gain of 6 as he got some initial pressure up the middle, but was pulled down by big number 76, Jordan Smith. He's made a handful of huge tackles this year for the Titans. So 1 receiver to the left. Make that 2 as they come out of the huddle. 2 running backs in the backfield. Motion to the right. That's Lombard. Trying to draw a man off sides, and it looked like he did. Goujon with the hard count. And they're going to put it half the distance to the goal. At about the 2-yard line. Kevin Maldonado, the guilty party for Nashua North. And the Astros within striking distance with 8 minutes and 45 seconds left here in the first quarter. A second down and goal to go from about the 2.5-yard line. 2 receivers split to the left, 2 running backs, pro formation in the backfield. Goujon will take it, hand it off up the middle, and a touchdown. That's number 2, Ty Hicks, 5'5", 170-pound senior, punches it into the end zone, and Pinkerton on the board first here with 8:41 left in the first quarter. So they've run a couple of different plays out of that formation. And that'll be Hicks with the first touchdown of the game. Brandon Roy, the kicker, sophomore, out to tack on the extra point. Number 22, Tyler McKiernan on the hold. Kick is up and through the uprights, and a 7-0 lead for Pinkerton. 8 minutes and 41 seconds left in the first quarter. The drive that started on a botched punt, 45-yard drive, and Pinkerton punching it in on the first drive of the game for them offensively. And the number 3 team in the state of New Hampshire flexing their muscle here early on. A 3-and-out for Nashua North on their first drive. And we'll see if they can have a better result here in drive number 2. 7-0 Astros lead.
Deep to return for the Titans, number 2, Sam Nichols, number 3, Ryan
Nichols and Ali back at the 5-yard line. Set to receive the kick. Alex Tevetter. The kick received at the 11-yard line. That's by Nichols. Cuts it across the 25. Tries to make a move to the right. But number 23, Marcus Terrio, 5'6", 150-pound sophomore, wraps him up, and that's where Nashua North will begin drive number 2, just across the 25-yard line. Called the 27. So here's Lovelace out once again. He's got Brian Montmany split to his left. Out of the shotgun, he'll take the snap. Handoff up the middle. That's Aiden Gillis. Gain of about 5 yards on the first down. Second down and 5 upcoming. Cam Macro, the junior, on the tackle. Quickly up to the line once again. 2 receivers to the left. They'll hand it off up the middle once again. Tackled at the line of scrimmage. Brian Montmany, the ball carrier, up the middle. And a third down and about 3 upcoming for the Titans. So in danger of going 3-and-out for the second drive in a row. Lovelace has put the ball in the air once, and it was an incompletion down the sideline to Ouellette. 2 receivers to each side, and Montmany to his left. Lovelace goes to the air. Caught just in front of the 40-yard line. That's Austin Ouellette, and a first down for Nashua North, their first of the game. And that's a big hurdle to overcome, especially trying to respond for the first drive from Pinkerton, in which they took the lead at 7-0. That's where we sit. 7:47 left in the first quarter. Kevin Maldonado, the big fullback, checks in. He's split to the right. Lovelace calling for the snap. He'll give it up the middle. That's Montmany, tripped up as he crosses the 40, able to advance to the 43-yard line. And in last week's win against Merrimack, that was the recipe for success for Nashua North, was just pounding the ball up the middle. Didn't throw the ball in the second half. But no huddle here for Nashua North. The pistol formation, Maldonado directly to Lovelace's right, and Montmany in the backfield. Pinkerton showing blitz. Montmany up the middle, and he gets just in front of the 50-yard line to the 49. And a third down and 1 upcoming. Nashua North 1 for 2 thus far on third downs, and this would be the first time crossing midfield if they were able to get this first down and pick it up. So 2 receivers to the left. Austin Ouellette, the lone man at the bottom of the screen. Maldonado to the left. Montmany split behind. They'll give it to him. Crosses the 50 and another first down. Good looking drive here for the Nashua North Titans. And into Pinkerton territory for the first time in the game. They're at the Astros 44-yard line. Maxwell Mosley, 5'11" lineman on the tackle. 6:20 remaining in quarter number 1. 2 receivers to the left, and Maldonado split behind the right tackle. Lovelace up the middle to Montmany again. He's in some space and gets across the 35-yard line to about the 31. Another first down, and number 19, Joshua Ladipo on the tackle. Clock runs, 6:10 left in quarter number 1 as Nashua North looks to their sideline. Head coach Dante Lorendi calling the plays. And the push from the offensive line on this drive is noticeably different than that of the first drive. They'll give it to Maldonado up the middle, barreling across the 30-yard line, a gain of 3 yards. And Maldonado, an 18-wheeler truck. It takes a little bit for him to get going, but he's hard to stop. Once the wheels get churning, it's a 2nd down and 8 upcoming for the Titans. Running back splits to either side. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Lovelace takes the snap, looks right. He'll throw that way. Ouellette in the end zone. Touchdown! Just beat his man. That was number 7, Thomas Moreau. And Nashua North on the board, 7-6, 5:26 left in quarter number 1. Ouellette just beat his man. A perfectly placed ball from Mike Lovelace. And a great job, a great drive, and a great response for Nashua North. Pinkerton scored on their last drive. Nashua North makes it a point to go down and tack some points on the board, get the momentum back in their favor. Montmany on the hold. The kick is up and good. That's number 18, Caio Campo. And with 5:26 left in quarter number 1, this game is tied at 7. Nashua North in their win last week against Merrimack, 17 points in quarter number 1. 3 and out on drive number 1 tonight. And a great response, both on the ground with Montmany and then through the air for the touchdown from Lovelace to Ouellette. They tried a similar route earlier, and Ouellette caught the ball just out of bounds. It worked that time as Lovelace put it in the breadbasket right to the outstretched arms of Ouellette, about 5 yards deep in the end zone. And the push of the offensive line, very good for Nashua North on that drive. Maldonado and Montmany really had a lot of open space when they ran the ball. You pound the ball up the middle enough, they're going to have to respect it. And Ouellette was wide open, just beat his man. So Hicks and Balageron back at the 7-yard line to receive the kick. It is a sky kick to the right side, and that is picked up by Ty Hicks. He'll try to cut it up the middle, breaking it to the right side. Breaks a tackle, cuts back over the middle. He's got some space across the 30-yard line. Here comes Lovelace. He gets around him across the 40 to the 44. It's Hicks on a good return on the left side. Took it, wrapped it back up the middle, broke a tackle with a spin move on the right flank, all the way back around the left side, across the 40 to the 44-yard line. 5:11 remaining in the first quarter, and a tie ball game at 7. That's the story here as Aiden Goujon brings his offense back out onto the field. 2 very different offenses as Pinkerton runs with the running back in the backfield, and they'll hand it off. That's Mara around the right side, gets near the 50-yard line, but is going to be stopped just short. Still in Pinkerton territory at the 49-yard line. Austin Ouellette wraps him up for the tackle, and we're under the 5-minute mark here in quarter number 1. As I was saying, very different offensive style. Aiden Goujon and this Pinkerton offense just down the middle. They get a good push off the offensive line and a lot of misdirection at the line of scrimmage. And Nashua North wide open with Mike Lovelace at the helm. They'll hand it off again to Mara up the middle. He gets across the first down and then some, dragging a couple of tacklers with him across the Nashua North 40. And I was praising the push for Nashua North's line during the last drive. Pinkerton coming out strong here in their second drive of the game. 2 runs and they're already across midfield at the 38-yard line of Nashua North. 7-7 score here in quarter number 1. Goujon takes the snap. He'll hand it off. That's Hicks, speedy around the left side, cuts back in, met by a host of Titan tacklers, and he's brought down after a gain of 3 yards. Call it the 36-yard line. Ouellette and Harris on the tackle. Curtis Harris, the freshman, has done a good job this year for the Titans. He's been playing with a cast on his right hand, but very speedy, makes a lot of tackles on the outside. Haven't seen him too much on the offensive side of the ball, but playing a nice safety role for the Titans so far this year. Handoff up the middle on a trap play. Across the 30-yard line and in space. He'll go all the way. A touchdown for Pinkerton. 2 drives and 2 scores for the Astros. That's number 39, Terrell Hicks. His second touchdown run of the game, and it is a 7-point lead. Hicks, a 36-yard touchdown run, and Pinkerton retakes a 7-point lead. It'll be number 6, Brandon Roy, 1 for 1 so far tonight on extra points. It'll be Hicks on the hold. The kick is up, splits the uprights, and good. A 14-7 lead for Pinkerton with 3:41 remaining here in quarter number 1. So far, no answers defensively for Nashua North against this Pinkerton team. They've really just run the ball down their throats on their first 2 drives without much resistance. But head coach Dante Lorendi's got to like what he saw out of his offense on the last drive. Able to get a push on the line. Montmany, some runs up the middle that were in space. Got some good push from the line. And got to wonder when we'll see Kevin Maldonado with the ball, because he's tough to bring down. He's done a good job on the defensive side of the ball, just 1 carry so far. As we are sitting at 3:41 left in quarter number 1, a 14-7 lead for the Astros. Alex Tvetter, 6'4", junior kicker. Set to kick the ball off from the 40-yard line. It'll be Nichols and Ali back to receive it for Nashua North. It'll be Nichols at the 16-yard line. He'll take it, cut to the left, across the 30-yard line.
Nichols on the return for the Titans.
Into a mass of tacklers, and that's where Nashua North will begin the drive at the 34-yard line.
Titans will set up shop 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line.
So Maldonado on the sideline. No R.J. Jenkins yet for Nashua North. It's been Brian Montmany really doing the bulk of the legwork on the ground. 2 receivers to either side. And Montmany split to Lovelace's right. They'll give it to him up the middle. He's wrapped up as Pinkerton expecting that run up the middle. And for Lovelace, he this year has not done much throwing over the middle, but the majority of his throws have been soaring bombs through the air to Austin Ouellette. And 1 for 2 on those tonight, but nothing else as far as over the middle or to any other receiver, really. As the ball at the Nashua North 36-yard line, 37. They'll send Ouellette in motion, right to left. They'll give it to him up the middle. Makes a cut and is brought down at the 40-yard line. Getting creative with the jet sweep. 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in quarter number 1. 14-7. Nashua North trailing here. Ouellette split to the right. He's flanked by 2 other receivers. Lone man at the top of your screen, and Montmany in the backfield moves from the right to left side. Mike Lovelace. Hard snap and a check to the sideline. Getting an audible from head coach Dante Lorendi. Pinkerton with 7 men in the box, 4 men drop back in coverage. Lovelace takes the snap, rolls to the right, and completed. That's number 26, Spencer DeRosiers, across the 45-yard line, but a penalty in the backfield and a hold called on Nashua North. This play is coming back. Trying to get some creative offense going, as it's been pretty much Montminy up the middle or Ouellette down the sideline so far. But we've seen Ouellette on a jet sweep this drive. Lovelace, roll out pass to his right. Dante Lorendi trying to switch things up.
Holding call will go against Nashua North.
And a 5-yard penalty will mark the Titans back on a 3rd down. We're going to go ahead and move it back to the 26-yard line. And a 3rd down and long upcoming for the Titans. They had 2 3rd down conversions on their last drive. This one would take an extraordinary effort to convert. 2 receivers split to either side. Pinkerton brings the pressure. Lovelace feels it. He rolls to the right across the 20-yard line. He's brought down. A sack on 3rd down. And 4th and long upcoming for Nashua North. Number 9, Gannon Fast. 6 foot, 185-pound defensive lineman, the junior, applying the pressure and bringing down Lovelace. It'll be Sam Nichols, the sophomore, back to punt. The 2nd punt of the game for Nashua North. Caden Belageron and Jared Valentine back to receive it. It'll be Belageron at the 47, falls across the 45, and that's where Pinkerton will get things going. 1 minute and 22 seconds left. And the Astros enjoying a 14-7 lead here. They've scored on both of their drives without much resistance. Almost 100 yards on the ground, 98 to be exact, for the Pinkerton Academy Astros. And it's just been on the ground. Haven't seen Aiden Goujon throw at all. The junior quarterback under center. Tight formation, 2 receivers to the left. A man in the backfield. They're going to motion, play action. The left-handed throwing Goujon settles into the pocket. He'll roll right, comes back to the left on a spin, makes a move, tries to get around Montminy, and the ball comes out, recovered by the Titans. The first pass attempt of the game for Pinkerton does not go their way, as quarterback Goujon is brought down. And that's Mike Lovelace with the fumble recovery. So Nashua North all of a sudden with the ball on their own 41-yard line, and Lovelace will stay out there on the field to play quarterback. Good job of Montminy to stay with the ball carrier in Goujon, punch the ball out, and right into the area of a ton of Titans. So 2 receivers to the top of your screen, 1 to the bottom, and a pistol formation with Maldonado split to Lovelace's right. They'll give it to Montminy up the middle. A cut to the left across the 45. He'll get to the 47-yard line as we're at the 1-minute mark in quarter number 1. 14-7 lead for Pinkerton. Scored on their first 2 drives. And Aiden Goujon coughed the ball up in drive number 3. So Nashua North trying to take advantage of the momentum heading their way. Maldonado split back to the right. Montminy, the handoff to the left side. He is swallowed up immediately, and he'll lose a yard. So back to the 46 is Nashua North. A 3rd down and about 6 yards upcoming. As the clock ticks down, 25 seconds left in quarter number 1. This looks to be the last play in the first quarter of the game. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, and a running back split to either side of Lovelace. He calls for the snap. He'll drop back. A look to the right. Ouellette on a curl route. Had the ball in the chest, but drops it as he was across the 50-yard line at about the 1st down marker.
4th down and 6 for the Titans.
And a 4th down and 6 upcoming for Nashua North, and they're going to leave the offense out on the field. They're at the 46-yard line. It's about where Pinkerton has started each drive. And now they're going to bring the punt unit out. Wanted to see what the Astros did defensively, so they'll just drop back their 2 safeties. Sam Nichols, the sophomore, out to punt. So 4th and 6, just too long for Dante Lorendi. Didn't like the look on the defense. And it'll be Caden Belageron. A high punt, not a lot of distance. Takes a good Nashua North bounce. Across the 25-yard line and downed at the 23 by number 4, Dom Gentry. And that'll mark the end of the first quarter. 14-7, Nashua North trailing the Pinkerton Academy Astros. And we'll be back with quarter number 2 here on ETV. Welcome back. Quarter number 2 from Stellos Stadium between the Pinkerton Academy Astros and the Nashua North Titans. First play of the second quarter through the air. That's complete to number 2, Ty Hicks. He's across the 50-yard line, cuts back over the middle, and a couple of tacklers will bring him down. So the Astros getting the second quarter started with some fireworks. So they lead 14-7. And what a way to kick things off as they get a first down and a long one. Ball sent at the Nashua 36-yard line. And Ty Hicks at 5'5", 170 pounds has already made an impact in this game. That was the first pass attempt by Pinkerton today. And play blown dead. 11:41 left in quarter number 2, and it looks to be a timeout taken by Nashua North. Dante Lorendi didn't like what he saw on that first play, the long completion from Aiden Goujon to Ty Hicks. And so far, other than that fumble by Goujon, uncharacteristically on the last drive, it's been Pinkerton all the way, the one strong drive for Nashua North thus far. In the first play, a 38-yard pass completion. Hicks was wide open in space. Goujon, the lefty, put the ball right on the money. A battle of good quarterbacks tonight, by the way. Aiden Goujon likes to run. Haven't seen too much of it tonight, but Mike Lovelace, we know he can run, and he can throw as well. The touchdown pass, 26 yards to Austin Ouellette on the right side, but neither team really throwing the ball that much. It's been a lot of running. The clock has been rolling pretty much the whole first quarter. We are at 11:41 in quarter number 2, just one play down, and the timeout called by Nashua North, the first one by either team. And it'll be Goujon under center once again. Nashua stacking the box with 6 men. And they'll hand it off up the middle. Number 4, Caden Belageron, gets it across the 30-yard line to the 27. And 11:34 remaining in the second quarter now. Second down and 1 upcoming for Pinkerton.
Second down and 1 for the Astros.
Pinkerton content to run the clock. They huddle every play. Goujon under center every play. A very different style than Nashua North. They'll hand it off up the middle. A strong run, but brought down. That's Nicholas Lombard. Junior running back around the outside, but then cutting it up the middle for the first down to the 21-yard line of Nashua North. And Pinkerton's really had their way once they get into the red zone. Under 11 minutes to go in quarter number 2. Same formation, one receiver splits to either side, and a tight end to either side as well. Running back in the backfield. Goujon under center. He'll take the snap, hands it up the middle, down the left side, dragging a couple of Titan tacklers with him. That's Chad Tereski, or rather Gannon Fast, a 6', 185-pound junior running back.
21, Curtis Harris on the stop for the Titans.
And he's been split back pretty much every play, and Curtis Harris, once again, the freshman, making the tackle, getting dragged a little bit by the elder statesman in Fast, but a good job of sticking with him and bringing him down to the 14-yard line of Nashua North. Power formation. Goujon will fake the handoff, takes it to the left side, nobody around him, he walks it in, and a 20-0 lead pending the extra point here for Pinkerton. Goujon faked the handoff up the middle and fooled everybody. Nobody was with him around the left side, and 10 minutes left even in the first half. A 20-7 lead for Pinkerton rather. And on to tack on the extra point. It's going to be Brandon Roy.
Tyler McKiernan on the hold.
McKiernan on the hold, trying to make it a 21-7 lead. Low snap, picked up off the upright, and no good. Hit the left upright and bounced out. So Roy now 2 for 3 on extra points. And with 10 minutes left in quarter number 2, it is 20-7. Nashua North trailing the Pinkerton Academy Astros from Stellos Stadium. Nashua South taking on Alvern right now at Alvern. And Bishop Girton playing at Stellos tomorrow against the #1 team in the state of New Hampshire. That's Salem. They've been the only team to defeat Pinkerton so far this year. And Pinkerton showing why they are the #3 ranked team currently in the state. Again, that only lost to Salem 3 weeks ago, a 35-20 defeat for the Astros. It's been one of only 2 games this year that they've allowed double-digit points. They shut out Alvern in week 1, 48-0. They defeated Nashua South by a score of 28-6 before rattling off 3 straight wins. That's Ryan Ali back. He receives the kick across the 25-yard line, brought down by a couple of Astros. And that's where Nashua North will begin their first drive in the second quarter. They allowed a big play on the first play of the second quarter, and then a handful of piercing runs up the middle, capped off by the Aiden Goujon touchdown run around the left side. So here's Lovelace with 2 receivers to either side. Nashua North moving right to left. He'll hand it off. That's Nichols. They'll toss it outside. That's Montmany. Wide open down the field is Ouellette. The trick play works. Caught at the 30-yard line. Nobody to beat, and Ouellette walks it into the end zone. A little bit of trickeration here in the first play of their first drive in the second quarter. And Nashua North finds the open man down the field, and it's Brian Montmany on the touchdown pass. 2 touchdowns so far for the Titans, and it's been Austin Ouellette through the air on both of them. 9:42 remaining in a 20-13 score pending the extra point. And I'd like to welcome back in Tom King. How about that play?
Yeah, they had to do something because, up the middle of Montmany wasn't going to quite get it done. And that one did. They had to shake things up a little bit. The one thing is, it's awfully, and the kick is no good, it's awfully tough to match points with that team across the way when your best athlete is standing right above us in R.J. Jenkins.
Yeah.
He hurt his leg at the end of the Merrimack game. I asked him after the game, "You okay? You going to be able to go?" He goes, "No, I'll be fine."
Of course he did.
Of course he did, so he's not going tonight. That's why he's upstairs on the roof with the film crew.
But it's 20-13 right now. Pinkerton Academy leading Nashua North. 9:42 left in quarter number 2. Matt Neverett and Tom King with you from Stellos Stadium. You've been down on the field for the first quarter and some change. What have you seen so far from this Nashua team?
Speed from Pinkerton. That's what I've seen. And bad tackling from Nashua North. The tackling hasn't been that good, and they have to wrap. If you get, on the kickoff return, too many, availability to go. If you've got a team, they can go from east to west and then north-south on the same play. You've got issues.
Yeah, there's been a lot of cutbacks so far. But one thing that stuck out to me so far is this.
It's reverse the direction. It isn't even cutback.
This Pinkerton line has been getting a good drive off the ball.
Yeah, they have, and they should. They really should. So, but a lot of these North kids, Kyle Tave got the defense together at one point during a timeout. Watch out for this. And a lot of these North kids are going both ways. And they tried to get it so that wouldn't happen, but that's made it a little difficult tonight.
And Avery Battle received the kick, but botched it, able to fall on it. And Pinkerton gets the ball from the 24-yard line. 9 minutes and 39 seconds left. Pinkerton leads by 7. They've scored on every drive. They've not fumbled the ball.
Now they have fumbled the ball once.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Every time they haven't fumbled it, they've scored a touchdown. So here is Aiden Goujon and company.
And I'm telling you, they can just, look at how many backs have carried the ball already. They can just keep throwing them at you.
Hands it to Hicks around the left side, gets the edge. He crosses the 30, a first down and then some. Across midfield, one man to beat. No one's going to catch him. Sam Nichols chasing the 10, the 5, and a touchdown. No flags on the field. And just like that,
speed.
A big play on the first play of the drive.
Speed.
And a 26-7 lead. Waiting on the extra point. Pinkerton has come out their first 2 drives here in the second half, and the very, very first play.
In the second quarter.
Big yards.
9:25 left to play in the quarter. There's a lot of time left. Yeah, you can't match points with this team. That's the problem.
And Hicks, 5'5", 170-pound senior running back. He's been running around the edge all night.
Let's see if they go for 2, Matt. I think they are.
Yeah, looks like they are. Goujon and the offense out there on the field in their bunch formation. Goujon fakes it to the left. He'll keep it himself.
And he'll get in.
Punches through, and he is in a 2-point conversion to make up for the missed extra point the last time down. And a 28-13 lead. Pinkerton flexing their muscle as the number 3 team in the state. And with 9:25 remaining in the second quarter, Pinkerton, another big play and another rushing touchdown.
9:25 to play here in
Well,
the first half. Your score,
again, we said it, speed. It really, really is evident. I mean, he's sprung, and the offensive line play is really good for Pinkerton right now. But the speed for Nashua is just, or for Pinkerton is just, it's outstanding. They've got outstanding speed, and that's what's doing it for them.
And they lead 28-13 here with 9:25 left in the second quarter. And Nashua North, who looked so good last week against Merrimack, the defense, lots of holes tonight, but it's hard to match up with the speed, like you said.
It's too difficult. It really is. I mean, you don't have, and look at the numbers on both sides. I mean, it's just different. This could get ugly fast if North can't find a way to stop them.
Back to receive the kick is Nichols and Ali. A squib kick off a man at the 50 and recovered by Pinkerton. That one pooched right from Alex Tavetter. Right off the man. That was number 51, Josh Farrell, the senior. And what a heads-up play. Just kicked it right at him off the gut and recovered by Pinkerton. They'll get the ball at their own 48-yard line.
That's tough.
The 15-point lead.
That is tough. That's almost adding insult to injury right there.
And so just like that, here's Aiden Goujon and the offense once again. Man in motion. Goujon looking through the air, left-handed release. Wide open target, but overthrows him. That's Gennaro Mara. And a missed opportunity. They've only had a handful of those tonight. But Mara had his man beat, but the overthrow from Goujon. Second down and 10 upcoming with 9:20 in the half. Tom, I bet you can't tell me the one left-handed quarterback left in the National Football League.
Well, right now, I can't really even think about that, Matt.
Man of the people, man of many talents in Tom King. Handoff on the left side. That's number 24, Nick Lombard. He's across midfield, but wrapped up at the Nashua 47-yard line.
Is it Derek Carr? He's left-handed, isn't he? Is Carr left-handed?
No, he's right-handed.
I thought he was lefty.
No, it's Kellen Moore, backup for the Dallas Cowboys. Only left-handed quarterback in the league. A good guess, though.
Not bad, not bad.
Derek Carr, he is out for the next couple of weeks with a back injury.
Who carried on that play?
24. That was Lombard. So third down and 5, under 9 minutes. They'll give it to Lombard once again. He crosses the first down across the 40 to the 38-yard line of Nashua North. So they're going back to Lombard after the carry and a first down for the Astros.
Could be in a running time situation in the third quarter. I wouldn't be surprised. I didn't think it would happen in this game, but it might end up being that way.
And with the way Pinkerton runs the ball, you would think that they would take up a little bit more time, but they've been scoring quickly. Here's Lombard on the left again to the 32, 33-yard line of Nashua North. Usually these teams that run the ball so well like this take off a ton of time, but they've been getting chunks of yardage, especially on the first couple of plays.
Oh, yeah.
So 28-13 as we're under 8 minutes left in half number 1. And a man split way out to the right for Goujon. A trap play up the middle. That's number 39 in Terrell Hicks, the fullback. And he picks up the first down. Gets to the 26 of Nashua North, and the clock continues to run. Maldonado in the game with a tackle. Haven't seen too much of him on offense. He was a weapon that they used early in the year in some short yardage situations, but he's mainly been playing on the defensive line with the emergence of Brian Montmany as a ball carrier.
Montmany has just been doing a great job, but he comes in handy when you're ahead, not when you're behind.
They give it to...
Good pursuit, stringing that play out and not allowing the cutback this time.
And that's a good carry. That was number 5, Mara, Gennaro Mara on the carry around the right. He picks up 6, second down and 4, as now they're really starting to take some time off the clock, Tom, and starting to get this offense churning about 5-6 yards per carry on this drive.
Yeah, it's pretty much what they're doing, Matt. It's not very pretty.
Handoff up the middle.
Look at that cutback.
Once again, that's the fullback Hicks, his third rushing touchdown of the day.
They've got people who can cut, run, and look at the hole.
And once they get through that first level of the defense into the linebackers in the secondary, it really seems that the Titans have struggled to tackle anybody. So 31
not a good defensive effort by Nashua North. It's not going to. They have practice on Monday. I know they do in the morning. Not going to be a very pretty practice especially when they run the film.
So a 34-13 score. Here is Brandon Roy out to kick the extra point. It is high, it is up, and it is good. So 35-13, 6 minutes and 50 seconds left in quarter number 2. And like you said, Tom, the defensive effort just hasn't been there. Once they break that first level of the defense, really struggling to tackle are the Nashua North Titans.
Yeah, it's just the defensive effort. It's just not there. And, it's not going to get any better in terms of what Pinkerton can do. They can't play any better. So, North, it's going to be the same guys carrying the football, and that's going to be very tough for the Titans to have to handle. They're going to have to make some adjustments, but they're probably going to have to wait till halftime.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Pinkerton scores again before the half. If North right now, their best bet is to keep the ball out of Pinkerton's hands if they can.
And what is the running clock, by the way? You brought that up.
It's a 35-point difference.
35-point difference. So they're getting there right now by 22 here with 6 minutes and 50 seconds left. And another pooch kick this time. Gets a little more distance. That'll be fielded by Spencer DeRosier. He picks it up. A cut to the left side and is brought down immediately. So feels like forever since Nashua North has had the ball, but they will take over at their own 24-yard line. 6 minutes and 42 seconds remaining in the half. And if you're Dante Lorendi and this Nashua North offense, I think you've got to take some shots here early on. They've had some success passing. Can't run a trick play every time like they did on the first play of the last drive.
No, they can't.
But we'll see how they respond. I did like that call at that point in the game. But here's Spencer DeRosier, split to Lovelace's left, 2 receivers to the right. They'll give it to DeRosier across the 25, tackled at the 29-yard line. Good one-on-one tackle. That's Josh Ladipo on the tackle. Really met him at the line of scrimmage, stuck with him, and a second down and 6 upcoming for the Titans. They trail by a 35-13 score. And Montmany back in the game at running back. He's split to the left. They'll send Ouellette in motion. They'll give him the ball on the left. He gets some space, makes a move to the inside, but is tripped up at the 40-yard line. A couple of men in there on the tackle.
He's a hard runner. No question about it. Montmany is a very hard, tough runner.
I mean, he's a guy listed as a wide receiver But they like to get the ball. They like to get the ball in his hands in a number of ways.
He's no wide receiver. He's a running back.
He's a big kid too. Likes to run through some guys. Under 6 minutes left here in the first half. They'll give it to Montmagny up the middle. Met immediately at the line of scrimmage. Driven back, and they'll call it no gain. Although they could have just as easily taken a yard away. Maxwell Mosley broke the front and brought him down immediately. So 2nd and 10 for the Titans. 4 receivers into the game, 2 to either side. Montmagny to the left. Nashua North moving right to left. 5:15 left in quarter number 2. Lovelace takes the snap. A screen play over to Ouellette on the right. He's got a couple of blockers across midfield. Over to the right in some space. Across the 40, 35, 30. Can he get the edge? No, but brought down at the 22-yard line. And that screen has worked well for him today. And 5:04 left in quarter number 2. Some offensive life for Nashua North.
That was a great play. If you want Austin Ouellette to get the football, you want him to get it in space. And he did that. All the way down to about the 22-yard line. So that is a gain of 38 yards.
Big passing play. Sets him up just outside the red zone, and big Kevin Maldonado checks in. Spencer DeRosier heads to the sideline. Maldonado moves from the right to the left side of the formation. Montmagny in, boxcar right. They'll give it to him up the middle, met at the line of scrimmage. And no gain. Maybe a yard, but a 2nd and 9 or 10 upcoming. That's Cam Macro, a couple of tackles tonight. And once again, just penetrating that offensive line. It's really been hit or miss so far for Pinkerton. Either they give up the big play or they're in the backfield immediately.
You got it. That's just it.
So pistol formation, Maldonado to the left, 2 receivers to the right. They'll give it to Montmagny up the middle. Some more good penetration. Montmagny gets to the 20-yard line. So that'll bring up a 3rd down and 8 as the Titans do get in the red zone. 4:20 remaining. And a man down in the backfield for Nashua North.
Maybe a lineman.
Yeah, looks like it. The trainer heading out there. He's grasping that left leg. Looks to be in some pain, but a 35-13 score here, Tom, with 4:19 left. And Nashua North defensively, not much effort, but offensively, they're keeping themselves alive.
Well, on the sidelines, I overheard Dante Laurenti, talk through the headset upstairs to Chad Zabolis and the offensive staff. Let's take some shots with Ouellette.
And then as soon as you came up here, they ran that trick play to him.
Trick play to him, and they also run the screen. They also caught a touchdown pass here down the other sideline. So that's the way it's been, and that's the way, their offense, Montmagny and Ouellette. That's basically what it comes down to. And Joe Marcellina from New Hampshire High School Sports is down on the sidelines, and we found out that Jenkins was not going to be in this game tonight. He looked at me, I looked at him, and he said, "Can they beat Pinkerton with 3 players?" That's hard to do. So
it's Kevin Maldonado, the fullback, who had just checked in, walking gingerly on that left leg.
Yeah, that's a big loss for them,
especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, no doubt about it. He plugs up the hole, and that is huge. If he is out of this game, that is a very tough blow.
35-13, the score here from Stellos Stadium. Matt Neverett and Tom King with you. It's Mike Lovelace and the Nashua North offense at the 20-yard line. 3rd down and 8 upcoming. 2 receivers to either side. Montmagny split to his right. Pinkerton's bringing the blitz. They send 7. Throw to the right. Wide open receiver. That's Montmagny. He gets to the 1st down to the 10-yard line.
Should be there. Should be a 1st down. It is.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and mark him. An 8-yard gain for Montmagny. Yep. And they sent the house, and a good job of Lovelace to stay cool, calm, under pressure, rolls to the right, finds the open man, and with Jenkins out and Ouellette covered, Montmagny found some space, and the sure-handed running back wide receiver combo brings him inside the 10-yard line, a 1st and goal. Once again, 2 receivers to either side. They'll send Ouellette in motion. Fake it to him on the left.
Lovelace, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Lovelace up the middle, and a cut down to the 5-yard line.
He hadn't carried the ball much tonight.
And he usually does. They usually find ways to get the ball in his hands.
Yeah, but you know what? The Montminy was working so well for them in terms of just continuity. They kept that going. So he's down to he gets about,
we'll call it 5.
Goal, yeah.
Second and goal from the 5. And Lovelace looks to be in some pain, running towards the sideline.
That's not good. See if they call timeout. They do not. So who takes over at quarterback?
It looks like Montminy, and they've only got 10 men on the – or no, they did send a man in.
Yeah, they sent a receiver in, but Montminy is going to be the QB.
So we'll call it a de facto Wildcat, 3 receivers to the left, and an empty backfield for Montminy, and now a flag.
Down. Yeah, that may be a bad maybe another player didn't come in. Delay of game.
And a delay of game, and that's tough as Lovelace sits down on the bench working with the trainer. And a tough situation there for Montminy. He's played wide receiver. He's played running back. Don't think he's played any quarterback this year, although he does have a touchdown pass.
He does have a TD pass in this game.
So we'll see. 3 receivers to the left and an empty backfield and 2 to the top of your screen. Montminy calls for it. He'll take it up the middle. Cuts it to the right across the 10. He gets inside the 5. It'll be close. Touchdown, Titans. So Mike Lovelace goes out with an injury. A delay of game penalty brings him back to the 10, and Brian Montminy doesn't care about any of that. It's a 10-yard touchdown run for the quarterback in that drive on that play, and 19 points for the Titans. They trail 35-19 with 2:25 left, and now the offense gets a break.
Well, a big run by Montminy, and again, somebody's got to do it, and it's going to have to be him right now, the way things are going.
Here's Caio Campo trying to tack on the extra point. He missed his last one, misses this one, so back-to-back misses on the extra point.
Campo's got a huge leg, too. That's tough.
Yeah, no problem with the distance. It's just been wide left for him on the last 2.
Yep.
As Mike Lovelace with the helmet back on. He was doing some running drills. Looks to be all right. It's definitely a lower body injury for him, but he plays both ways. So good to have him back on the defensive side here for the Titans, and it's been an area that they've struggled mightily tonight. They trail 35-19, 2:25 left. And for Pinkerton, getting the ball here with just under 2:30 left in the half. They'll get the ball to start half number 2 as well. So a chance for them to run down the clock, get some points at the end of half number 1, and then tack on some more at the beginning of half number 2. Pinkerton with all 3 timeouts. Nashua North has used 1. And that delay of game penalty, Tom, on that last drive, basically a timeout so they could, get their heads right with Lovelace on the sideline. Ended up working out for him. 10-yard touchdown run from Brian Montminy. He's got a run and a touchdown pass today. And an onside kick crosses the 50, a high bounce and recovered by Pinkerton.
That's tough to do that. You want to keep the ball out of their hands if you can for the last couple minutes. Trust your defense, evidently, and that's what he's going to do.
And Nick Lombard, the man who fell on the onside kick, I don't necessarily disagree with that decision, catching the other team off guard. But then
a little bit, but you're gambling because then you give them good field position again and a chance to score more points and get into the 40s before the half.
And Pinkerton with the ball at their own 42. That's about where they've started every drive. They come out, tight formation, a split back to either side, and Hicks in the backfield. They'll give it to the man. That's number 9, Gannon Fast. The fullback split back. He gets 6 yards on that play. The clock runs. It'll hit 2 minutes before the play gets started, so Pinkerton content to just run this out. They like to take their time on offense. Quarterback Goujon goes to the sideline every play sideline every call, and he'll get the play call out. 1:50 remaining. 1 receiver split to the right, and nobody on him for the time being. Sam Nichols hustling over there. Nashua North sends 5, and Goujon looks to pass over the middle. Caught by Hicks, and he makes a move to the left side. Wrapped up and gets out of it, crosses the 10, dragging defenders with him down near the 5-yard line. And they'll mark him at the 6, but Ty Hicks in space. How about it? He's been phenomenal tonight. And Pinkerton once again in the red zone. The minute and 29 seconds left in the half.
Ty Hicks has got speed to burn. If he gets the football, he's going to make some yardage on it. All the way down to the 6-yard line. That is a huge gain.
And he's been their big play guy tonight. Whenever they have gotten plays in bunches, it seems somehow
46-yard gain.
That it's in Ty Hicks' hands.
Yeah, it does.
So 1:15 left. 2 running backs in the backfield. Goujon will hand it off. It's Terrell Hicks. And a touchdown. That was Ty Hicks, rather. Ty and Terrell Hicks, both for Pinkerton. It was Ty Hicks with the 46-yard catch, and then they let him pound it in. So Pinkerton into the 40s here in the first half. 1:09 remaining in quarter number 2 and a 41-19 lead. And here comes Brandon Roy out to tack on the extra point. Tyler McKiernan on the hold. Low snap. Hold is down. Kick is up. And good for Roy. A 42-19 score. Nashua North trailing with 1:09 here at Stellos Stadium. Nashua South playing at Alvern tonight in Hudson. And Bishop Girton playing here at Stellos tomorrow against the #1 team in the state in Salem.
It could be a repeat of what we're seeing now with BG.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. This Pinkerton team has just been scoring at will, gaining yards in bunches. And really nothing that this Nashua North defense seems to be able to do, at least here in half number 1. You think they're going to make some changes at the half, Tom?
I think they're going to make some adjustments. I don't know what they can do change-wise, but they'll try to make some adjustments.
So here's Alex DeVetter, 6'4" kicker. Got a ball recovered earlier on a ball right off the man on the front line. He puts another ball on the ground, but this time deep. It'll be Nichols at the 15-yard line. Cuts it to the right. Now back over the middle across the 30, and they'll mark him down at the 31. So Nashua North, 1 minute to go. The clock running, and 2 timeouts. Not sure why the clock was running there after the kickoff, but they're going to stop it at 55.7 seconds. Yeah, it looks like they're gonna need to put some time back on the clock. It stopped at about minute and 1 second, and then for some reason about 6 seconds ran off the clock. So the spread formation here for Nashua North, trying to get some points before Pinkerton receives the ball to start the second half. They'll hand it off to the left side. That's Nichols around the edge, and he is tripped up by his own man at the 39-yard line. That'll keep the clock running. And no timeout called here. They're going to be content to take it into the half. 42-19. It's been all Pinkerton tonight. They're going to need to run one more play. Looking to the sideline to get the call. 3 receivers at the bottom of the screen. 1 to the top, and Montmagny split to the right of the quarterback, Lovelace. 23 seconds left. They take the snap. Going down the field is Lovelace. Way overthrows his man. Intended for Ouellette. Nobody in the area. They'll give Ryan Ozier the coverage on that play, but 18.5 seconds left in the first half. Nashua North just trying to get something going here before halftime. Pinkerton will receive the second half kickoff. Ouellette split by himself at the top of the screen. 2 receivers at the bottom.
They'll try to go to Ouellette again, probably. No.
They're going to give it up the middle.
Yeah, they're just going to run it out.
That's Sam Nichols with the carry, and that should end the half. I'm going to be content to take the ball into the half. 42-19 the score. And, Tom, it's been all Pinkerton all night. That speed around the outside, it's just been too much for this defense to handle. That'll do it for half number 1. It'll be Pinkerton receiving the second half kickoff when we return. Matt Everett, Tom King, live from Stellos Stadium. We'll take a break, but be back. The Astros lead the Titans by a 42-19 score.
Now entering the field is the Nashua High School North Titans marching band and color guard under the direction of Kristen Olson. The assistant band director is Elizabeth Null. Visual design is by Terry Swift. Drill instructions are Kevin Swift and Elizabeth Null. Color guard instructors are Nancy Forty and Wendy Sullivan. The drumline instructor is Charles Davis. On the field, the Titans are directed by drum majors Missy LaVoy, Braden Smith, and Jaylene Velasquez. The Nashua North Marching Band and Color Guard presents its 2017-2018 show and would like to dedicate this season to the memory of Jacob Goulet. The show is titled North Shore and includes Surfing USA, Rock Lobster, Soak Up the Sun, and Umbrella Beach. Sit back and enjoy the show. The Nashua North Titans Marching Band and Color Guard.
gentlemen, let's hear it for the Nashua North Titan Marching Band and Color Guard.
Disasters can happen anywhere at any time. When disaster hits home, your family will depend on you. In a disaster, you are the superhero. Be prepared. Sign up for emergency alerts and visit readynh.gov. Take action. Be safe.
Welcome back. Halftime from Stellos Stadium. Matt Everett and Tom King with you. Nashua North trailing the Pinkerton Academy Astros by a 42-19 score. Give you a quick recap of how the scoring started. Pinkerton got on the board first on a Terrell Hicks 2-yard rushing touchdown with about 9 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Point after made it 7-0. The Titans would respond with a Mike Lovelace 35-yard touchdown pass to Austin Ouellette down the right side. He was wide open, pass in the breadbasket from Lovelace, and it was tied at 7 with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Pinkerton, though, quickly marching down the field in a 35-yard rushing touchdown and an extra point made it 14-7 after the first quarter. Pinkerton got the ball to start the second quarter, and they charged down the field. A 20-7 score after their first drive of the half after a missed extra point. Nashua North responded with a Brian Montmany 74-yard touchdown pass on the very first play of the drive after the Pinkerton touchdown. Missed extra point for them made it 20-13 as well. Second quarter, 9 minutes to go. 76-yard rushing touchdown for Pinkerton and a 2-point conversion from the quarterback, Aiden Goujon, made it 28-13 Pinkerton. They would begin to run away with it about 2 minutes later. 7 minutes to go in the half. A 24-yard rushing touchdown made it 35-13 Pinkerton with the lead. Brian Montmany, though, kept up his strong game. A long catch brought them within a couple of yards, and Brian Montmany tagged it on himself. Missed extra point, and it was 35-19. Pinkerton with a 6-yard rushing touchdown. It was all Ty Hicks on that drive. A 36-yard catch and then a 3-yard rushing touchdown. Extra point made it 42-19 at the half, and that is where we stand. 14 points in the first quarter for Pinkerton as compared to just 7 for Nashua North, and the Astros tacked on 28 points in the second quarter. Really started to run away with things. Nashua North with 12 of their own, a couple of missed extra points. 42-19 the score. Right now, Mike Lovelace, 6 for 8 for 82 yards. Limited opportunity. He's had a decent game through the air, but it's been the defense of Nashua North that has let them down, and 42 points allowed in half number 1. That's the most points that they've allowed across a game. Their 2 losses to Nashua South and Londonderry, they allowed 34 points and 26 respectively. Getting set to kick things off in half number 2. And the kick across the 30-yard line. And down the right sideline is Caden Balageron. And across midfield, tackled at the Nashua North 48-yard line. Good field position for the Astros as they kick off the second half. 42-19 they lead. Matt Everett and Tom King with you from Stellos Stadium. It's been a beautiful night for football as nightfall in Nashua. Aiden Goujon and company taking over at the 48-yard line. They've really jammed the ball down the throats of Nashua North the whole game. A bunch formation. Man in motion on the right side. A couple of play actions. They'll give it to the right. That's number 5, Gennaro Mara. Contact at the 20. That's Sam Nichols. And brought down at the 15-yard line. A long run on the first play of half number 2 for Pinkerton. Just how they drew it up in the first half. They've been getting long plays on the first play of these drives and then just punching it in after that. And a 33-yard run coming out of halftime. Nashua North, no answers for this Pinkerton rushing attack. Terrell Hicks in the backfield. Or rather, that's Gannon Fast. They give it to the brother Ty Hicks of Terrell Hicks. And he gets to the 10-yard line, a gain of 5. Second down and 5 upcoming. In the red zone once again is Pinkerton. 42-19 they lead. A 23-point lead so far for the Astros, looking to tack on early in half number 2. Goujon under center, one receiver split to the right. They'll give it up the middle. That's Gannon Fast. Dragging a couple of players with him near the goal line. We'll see what the final push results in. And no signal yet. A flag after the play. Couple of flags, laundry everywhere. And they're going to call it a touchdown. Looked like it was spotted at the 1, but 2 different officials throwing flags, and we'll see what the call is and if that affects the score. 1 minute already off the board here in half number 2. And a 10-yard run for Fast. So he dragged half the Nashua North defense with him. Still no call. Looked to be some pushing and shoving outside of the pile. And a touchdown is going to stand. They're going to call an unsportsmanlike on Pinkerton, but it's going to be after the play. So a 49-19 lead. And here comes the extra point off the foot of Brandon Roy. Extra point is up. It is through the uprights and good. A 49-19 lead. 30 points the deficit for Nashua North. And a 35-point deficit would result in a running clock. So this is a big drive if you're Nashua North. And 1 minute already gone in half number 2, and it's more of the same from Pinkerton. A big play and a couple of runs just jammed down the middle. And Nashua North all of a sudden with their backs up against the wall. And they're going to go offsetting unsportsmanlike penalties as Pinkerton will be kicking the ball off from the Nashua 45-yard line. That'll send Nichols and Ali back into their own end zone with 11 minutes left and a 49-19 deficit. Alex Tavetter, the kicker, sends this one on a line drive out the back of the end zone and a touchback. First one of the game for either side. And Nashua North will begin with the ball at their own 20-yard line.
The Astros had 357 yards of total offense in the first half.
Wow. And they came out firing on all cylinders in the second as well.
Yeah, they sure did.
And for Nashua North, they've had a couple of good drives, but really negated by some quick scores going the other way.
It took them on that to start the half 4 plays to score.
In just 1 minute. And off around the left side, that's Sam Nichols. He'll gain 5 yards, so 2nd and 5 upcoming from the Nashua North 25-yard line. And it really seems that the Astros going into halftime and now coming out of the first half just really doing whatever they want on the offensive side of the ball, especially on the ground. So here's Lovelace with the man split to his left. That's number 26, DeRoser. And they're going to give it to him up the middle. Tries a spin, stays up with the hand on the ground. Across the 30 to the 31-yard line. That's a first down. So a bit more methodical have been the Titans so far, but just 19 points on the board to show for it as compared to the 49 for their opponent. So they're going to stick with the spread formation. This time Montmany in the backfield. 3 receivers to the top of the screen. And 1 lone receiver at the bottom. Give it to Montmany up the middle. Into the second level. Brought down by a couple of Astros tacklers. And we'll spot him at the 36-yard line. 2nd down and 4 upcoming here for the Titans. Clock ticking. 10 minutes and 15 seconds left. And for Pinkerton, they're content to just let this tick away. 30-point lead for them. Nashua North, no sense of urgency just yet. Lovelace missed a couple of plays in the first half with an injury, but Montmany Scored on it. Here's Lovelace up the middle. He'll keep it himself across the 40 to the 42-yard line. And it's another first down for Nashua North, chugging along here in their first drive of half number 2.
A rare run for Lovelace, but a good one.
And he sat out a couple of plays near the end of the first half. Came up a bit gimpy on that leg, but Brian Montminy, 10-yard touchdown run, got the Titans to where they are at the scoreboard. 2 receivers split to each side. No tight ends at all for this Nashua North team. Lovelace sends Ouellette in motion from right to left. He'll give it to him. He's across the 40-yard line. A couple of blockers to the outside.
Move.
Down the sideline. Steps out of bounds.
Nice cut by Ouellette and a push out of bounds, and they could have thrown a flag there, but they didn't.
They're going to let the boys play. Going to spot it at the Pinkerton 48-yard line, and that's good enough for a first down.
You made a good point, though. Without Maldonado, no tight ends, no fullback, no beef.
So they've just been forced to run around the outside, and I don't see Maldonado out there.
No.
So that leg injury looks to be too much for him to come back. 2 receivers split to each side once again, and Montminy in the backfield. Lovelace looks to pass. He finds a man. That's number 17, Nick Balla. And 9:24 remaining. He steps out of bounds. Second down and 3 upcoming. First time we've really seen a quick hitting curl like that to anybody other than Austin Ouellette tonight.
Well, this is the opposite of what North endured last week. Last week in the second half, they were ready to run the football because they had the lead. Now they're behind, and that means that they just can't do ground Montminy much anymore. They're going to have to throw the ball if they want to stay in this football game.
And it's Sam Nichols.
Get back in this football game.
Sam Nichols split to the right. They'll give it to him up the middle, and he's met by a swarm of Pinkerton tacklers.
Short of the first down by about a yard.
It's going to depend on the spot. Looks to be close. They're going to give it to him.
Wow,
a favorable spot, yeah.
No doubt about it.
So that's 3 first downs on the drive with 9:18 remaining and the clock ticking. Looking to the sideline to get the play. It's Montminy in the backfield once again. 2 receivers to either side. Wide open spread formation for the Titans. Pinkerton sends 5. They'll find DeRosier. Cuts it up over the middle. Hit at the 35-yard line, and he goes down. They'll give him forward progress to the 36. And that's number 69, Jacob Barasa, the senior defensive lineman on the tackle. So finding new ways to get their receivers the ball in space.
Well, the problem is there wasn't a lot of space there, and only a 3-yard gain on the pass. They're not able to get. They're going to have to get Ouellette out in the flat. And he's at the top of your screen now, and there they go, right to Ouellette in the corner.
And that ball is picked inside the 5-yard line, down to the 4. An interception from Lovelace, the first turnover for Nashua North.
Looked like number 18 on the interception for Pinkerton.
It's going to be Jared. 16 is Ryan Osier. And
Ryan Osier, who I talked to you about earlier, off camera. I said he's one of their better athletes.
Yeah, you said a lacrosse player?
Good lacrosse player, and makes the interception.
And the foot skills translate well, especially at the defensive back position from lacrosse. A lot of that lateral movement, going backwards, swinging the hips around. And that ball aired out. Lovelace has done that a couple of times this year where he'll just fire it into open space and hope that his man runs underneath it. Did not get lucky that time, as now here are the Pinkerton Astros from their own 4-yard line. They're going to give it up the middle and met strongly by the defensive line of Nashua North. Call it a gain of 1, 2nd down and 9 upcoming, as we are just about at the 8-minute mark here in the third quarter. It's Terrell Hicks, the senior fullback, on the carry. And they'll give him 2 yards there, so 2nd and 8 upcoming. A few changes.
They have scored every time except for when they fumbled the ball away that one time.
Wow. It's been dominance. It really has started up front for Pinkerton. They've been opening up some huge holes for their running backs. Man in motion. They'll give it up the middle once again. And Hicks once again gets up to the 10-yard line. 3rd down and 4 coming up for Pinkerton. This would be a big stand for Nashua North. They're down by 30 points, but can start to maybe claw their way back in if they're able to stop Pinkerton back in their own territory. Especially this deep, we really haven't seen any semblance of a punt team yet for Pinkerton. They haven't needed it. So third down and a long 3, 7 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Goujon under center. He'll take the snap, hands it up. And it's Hicks, around across the 15-yard line. Gets across the 20, back up the middle, across the 30, the 35. Tries to get around Nichols, but he's able to bring him down at the 39-yard line. They needed 3. They got a ton more than that.
They needed 3. They got 30. And that is, Nichols finally was able to grab him. But they have been chasing Pinkerton all night long.
A ton of cutbacks. We saw it right. We saw it right from the start of the game, the opening kickoff. A couple of cutbacks. This Pinkerton team is not afraid to go back to the other side of the field if they see open space. So now 6:30 remaining in the third quarter and a first down from the 38-yard line of Pinkerton. And flags everywhere. Looks to be in the area of a false start. Going to go ahead and call that. And really the first time that this Astros team has been brought back on their own accord all night. Pretty much every play for them has resulted in positive yardage.
From their own 34.
So that'll send them back to the 34-yard line. First down and 15 coming up. Pinkerton definitely content for a long drive here. It started at their own 4. A 29-yard gain on third down and 3 by Tyrell Hicks. And once again, we've seen it all night. The play started up the middle but bounced around to the outside and then came back pretty much all the way to the left side. First down and 15. Goujon pumps it. He'll keep it himself around the left and brought down after a gain of 2 to the 37-yard line. Called the 36. So second down. Second down and 13 to come for Pinkerton. This Nashua North line has been able to get some penetration like we haven't seen on this drive, but letting the clock run down at 5:20 remaining in the third quarter. It's again a receiver split to the right. Goujon, a couple of pump fakes. The lefty airs it downfield, and it's caught 38-yard line and carries a man to the 35. That's number 19, Joshua Ladipo, on the catch, and another first down and another big chunk of yardage for Pinkerton.
Was that Ladipo or was that Fast?
Looks
9 or 19? I thought I caught number 9 there.
Yeah, 9 is Ladipo, or 19 is Ladipo. 9 is Fast. I think that was actually Gannon Fast.
It was.
And another catch in space. Fast in the backfield. Under 5 minutes, 4:50 remaining. Man in motion from right to left. They'll give it to him. And it's Rudy Garcia. Number 26, rather. Looked like a 36, but that's 26, Avery Battle. 5'8" sophomore. Saw him on a kickoff return earlier, but if it's not Tyrell Hicks, it's somebody else. This Pinkerton team has been getting to the outside the whole game. 4 minutes and 25 seconds left in the third quarter. His drive has taken a big chunk of clock off the board. And another tight formation. Pinkerton, not a lot of creativity in their formations, but they haven't needed it much. Another jam up the middle and a second effort to the 21-yard line. That's Gannon Fast. He's 6 foot, 185 pounds. The junior does a great job of creating space up the middle. One thing that's for sure is that this Nashua North defensive front has been getting bullied up front. Give all the credit to head coach Brian O'Reilly from Pinkerton and that offensive line for drawing up these schemes. 3 minutes and 48 seconds left in the third quarter. 2 running backs in the backfield, a tight end to either side. They'll give it. That's number 26. That's Battle. To the 16-yard line. And a second down and 5 upcoming. This clock continuing to tick. Under 3:30 now. 49-19 the score.
Second down and 4 for the Astros.
They're just going to keep jamming.
They're just going to keep going at it. This could be, what, a 95-yard scoring drive if they get it?
96, yeah, started from their own 4.
Own 4-yard line.
No reason to really change up the game plan. It's been working. They give it once again. That's Battle. Pushing the pile as they've done all night across the 10-yard line and just refusing to go down.
What a difference a week makes. This is a North team that physically dominated Merrimack a week ago, and tonight they are getting their lunch handed to them.
And
physically
set down at the 8-yard line. So first and goal, 3 minutes to go in the third quarter.
First and goal from the 8 for the Astros.
And yeah, like you said, this has just been a physically dominating performance by this Pinkerton team. And this North team made Merrimack look bad last week, especially in the trenches. But Pinkerton, the number 3 team in the state, showing you why here, especially with this drive in the second half. They're going to give it around the outside. That's Nick Lombard.
And he's in.
Around the corner, into the end zone. Another touchdown, and into the 50s are the Pinkerton Astros with 2:35 remaining here in the third quarter. And really, Nashua North defensively has been getting thrown around all night. Extra point upcoming, but Tom will see a rolling clock here as they're up over.
Automatic now.
They're up over 35.
Now, for running time, for people who don't know, I think it should be changed in a way to make more running time, because they stop the clock on penalties. Pick is no good. 55-19. They stop the clock on penalties. Okay, and they also, and there's a lot of penalties, as we know, in high school football. And they stop the clock after scores. I think they ought to continue the clock during penalties and scores. I don't think there's any reason to stop it whatsoever unless there's an injury.
Just have them score and then
well,
immediately
in hockey,
run out
that's
there.
how they do it.
Yeah.
In hockey, there's a lot of penalties, and they don't stop the clock for hockey. So, but that's how they do it in football. So incomplete pass, clock continues to run. Basically, all it does is change. Incomplete pass, the clock runs, and out of bounds, the clock runs.
Yeah, and I
so
mean,
that's basically it.
And with the way that this Pinkerton offense has been running, clock doesn't stop on their drives as it is.
Right, exactly.
And for Nashua North, it is going to make a difference for them, because down by as much as they are, they're going to need to throw the ball through the air. Haven't really been able to get much going on the ground. But we'll see. It is a 55-19 score. And Nashua North, 2 men back at their own 5-yard line, ready to receive the kick. And Tavetter kicks another one on the ground. Gets a roller. It's Nichols, picks it up at the 15. Up the middle to the left, now back to the right. Grabbed by a couple of Astros tacklers and to the 24-yard line.
The other thing, too, with the running time, Matt, is when they have to move the chains for first downs, that always stops the clock. That won't stop the clock either.
Well, what's that, about 3-4 seconds every time?
That's not much.
They've been pretty good about getting out there. And a timeout called. Looks to be.
Oh, yeah, it stops for timeouts,
Oh,
too.
yeah. There would be no point in having timeouts if that was the case. But 2:02 remaining, 55-19 the score. It's been all Pinkerton. And that last drive, Tom, really just goes to show the dominance that they have had. A 96-yard drive. Started at their own 4-yard line.
Yep.
Clock didn't stop really that entire time. They only had to pass it once. It was over the middle to Gannon Fast. And Nashua North, really since about the midway point to the end of the first quarter, have not been able to do anything about this Pinkerton offensive front. They've really had their way with them tonight, and they haven't needed to go to the air. Every now and then, once Nashua North over-pursues up the middle, they'll pump fake it, and Aiden Goujon, who has a very good arm throwing with the left, finds his man, and they've all been over the middle too. Not much deception in the passing game. And wrapped up strongly, a loss of 3 yards. 55-19 the score. And an interesting formation, the starting offense off the field. So this will be an interesting end to the game, Tom, trying to find all these backups.
There will be a lot of them.
Matt Wall, the junior wide receiver, in at quarterback. No more Lovelace. He turns to the right. Missed play. He's brought down at the 20. And that's what you get when you got a guy who I don't think has taken a snap all year.
No, not at all.
He took the snap, looked to the right. There was nobody there. His running back was coming on the left. A broken play. He had to take it to the right himself and loses a couple more yards. 3rd down and 14. Clock under a minute now to go in the 3rd quarter. And looking to the sideline, it's Wall. He's wearing number 80. The backup quarterback. He'll call for the snap. An empty backfield. Take it himself up the middle. And brought down after a gain of about a yard. So 4th down and 14. Going to leave the offense out on the field for the time being. A couple of changes incoming, and now looks like they're going to send out the punt unit. So the clock running, 20 seconds and counting. In quarter number 3, Sam Nichols back to punt. That's number 10, Aiden Conroy, and number 5, Gennaro Mara, back to receive the punt. 5 seconds left. They're going to let this 3rd quarter run out. And it is a 55-19 deficit for the Nashua North Titans. And we'll be back with the 4th quarter here on ETV.
End of 3, Nashua North 19, Pinkerton 55.
Welcome back. Quarter number 4 from Stellos Stadium. Matt Everett and Tom King with you. 55-19. It's been all Pinkerton over the Nashua North Titans. And Sam Nichols to punt on the first play of quarter number 4. That's number 10, Aiden Conroy, on the reception of the punt down inside the Nashua 40-yard line to the 37, and a running clock with a 55-19 lead here in quarter number 4 for Pinkerton. Like I said, Tom, this last quarter is going to be fun, looking through these roster sheets, trying to find out just who these guys are on the field.
No doubt about it. You know, it's going to have a lot of different players out there, but that's what you do in a game like this. And Pinkerton will be doing the same thing, obviously.
Yeah, Nashua North sent Matt Wall, a wide receiver wearing number 80 out there at quarterback for the last drive, a 3-and-out after a couple of broken plays. And the man under center is number 14, Jeff Potvin. And he'll hand it off to Battle around the right side. Hit just inside the 30-yard line. He'll be tackled at the Nashua 31-yard line. It's Avery Battle, the sophomore running back. We've seen him a little bit this game. So not an unfamiliar ball carrier for Pinkerton so far. 10 minutes and 30 seconds, already a minute and a half off the clock here in quarter number 4. Potvin at 5'4" under center, runs the trap play up the middle in some space. One man to beat, and he's brought down inside the 10-yard line. So first string, second string, third string, doesn't matter for Pinkerton.
Doesn't matter for Pinkerton at all.
And the clock at 10 minutes, and Pinkerton just going to be jamming the ball here. Devin LeBlanc, the ball carrier on the trap. And some wholesale changes for Pinkerton running in and out. They're going to get the play in. Here's Potvin calling the play. Jeff Potvin, a 5'4" sophomore quarterback, so still some time to develop. He'll give the ball around the left side. Stumbling through, reaching the ball out, and they're going to mark him down at the 1-yard line. That's number 23, Marcus Terrio.
Just short. Dove forward.
Can't knock the effort, yeah.
Yeah, his knee hit the ground right at the 1.
So once again, a couple of substitutes coming in for Potvin and this offense as we are at the 9-minute mark in quarter number 4. Pinkerton leading 55-19.
You know, I know if you probably ask Dante Lorendi, the North coach, he'll tell you his team isn't as, 35 points worse than Pinkerton. But tonight, the way they played and the way they weren't able to match points, get into a point race with this team, forget it.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, it started on the defensive side because at times the offense has looked very good. They just kind of stalled out at the end of the first half, and then they had no shot in the third quarter.
Right.
Once they got down that big.
Exactly.
And another stop, though, by this second-string defensive line for Nashua North. It's a 3rd down and goal from the 1-yard line. We'll see if they can hold strong, although I think at this point in the game it's 4-down territory for Pinkerton. They're just going to keep running the ball up the middle, really regardless of what happens. And they're going to call a timeout, Nashua North will. So 8 minutes and 10 seconds remaining.
No, there's a
Oh,
penalty.
they're just going to delay a game there, yeah.
Delay game penalty. This Pinkerton took the clock down.
Yeah,
and
they
back
did.
to the 6.
They didn't throw the flag out there.
No, I think that was a deliberate delay just to take, you got reserves in there, but, they're just going to let the clock try to run down as much as they can.
Get
now,
some
the clock
space.
stops to make the call and move the yards, but the time picks up again.
And another trap play up the middle will get them about 2 yards, so it'll be 4th and goal from the 3-yard line. Brian O'Reilly, head coach of Pinkerton, is going to leave the offense out on the field. Try and jam the ball in. 7:40 and counting remaining in the game. A couple of substitutions in. 2 men in and 2 men out for the Astros. And a 4th and goal upcoming. Potvin under center. He'll take the snap. Hand it off up the middle. And a touchdown on a 4th and goal for Pinkerton.
Looked like Trent Ledoux.
Trent Leduc, 6'1", 185-pound freshman, getting in the end zone. Doesn't matter what grade you're in tonight for Pinkerton. They've gotten the ball in the end zone in every way possible. So here's Potvin on the hold. He'll stay on the field, and it's number 6, Brandon Roy, on to kick once again. A 61-19 lead for Pinkerton. And the penalty flag out.
Penalty flag on the play.
As the kickers are substituting in.
Substitution on Pinkerton.
And yeah, with all the backups running in, they even had the backup field goal unit running out there, and an illegal substitution call. And it's going to be number 11, Alex Tvetter, out to kick the field goal. And he's only been featured on kickoffs tonight, which there have been plenty of. So the leg is warmed up. This is the first extra point we've seen. It's been Brandon Roy on all the extra points. Low snap. Kick is up and no good. A line drive to the left of the uprights. And with 7:15 left in the fourth quarter, a 61-19 score. Even the backups for Pinkerton driving the ball down the field and scoring when it matters most on a 4th and goal from the 5-yard line. And now for Nashua North, expecting to be their last drive. They really struggled the last time down. Matt Wall, number 80, the backup quarterback for Loveless here tonight. A couple of busted plays in his first drive.
Yeah, add 34 more yards to the total offense. And it's just their offensive total is going to probably be in the 500s by the time this game ends.
It's been all on the ground for the most part. Just gunning it down the middle. And the misdirection has been a huge part of the success. And they've kept them honest on the trap play as well. Just right up the middle. Gotten big chunks of yardage on that. It's going to be Sam Nichols and the freshman Xavier Provost. And the clock running. 7:10 left in the game. 61-19. And here's Roy out to kick off. So Roy and Tvetter trading places here late in the game. A low line drive that bounces, fielded by Nichols at the 14. He'll go up the middle, spun around, gets out of a tackle at the 25-yard line, cuts directly to the sideline, across the 30-yard line to the 32. Number 37, Connor Colburn on the tackle. And Nashua North, with the clock ticking at 6:40 remaining, will take over. They've really struggled since the half. And this Pinkerton defense, even the backups, as strong as ever. Matt Wall still out there at quarterback. Jordan Ayotte out there. Wall in the shotgun with a man behind him. He'll hand it off. That's number 12, Steve Larkin, junior running back. 6 minutes left on the clock. And right at this point in the game, Tom, you're just trying to get guys some touches, get them some varsity playing time, because you're not going to get many opportunities like this if you're a backup for this team.
No doubt about it. Exactly.
Especially for Matt Wall, being behind Mike Lovelace. He's going to be in there at any chance that they have in the game. Wall back in the shotgun. He'll hand it off over the middle. Cut back to the left. That's number 48. I don't have it listed on the roster sheet in front of us. We're getting into the guys that aren't even listed out here at this point in the game. 5 minutes and 15 seconds left. Looking down to the sideline and looking ahead to next week. Another matchup here at Stellos Stadium for Nashua North as they take on Bishop Girton, who plays Salem tomorrow.
And this could look the opposite way for North next week, the way things are going with BG, but you never know. So
yeah, and BG, that tough opponent in Salem. You said earlier that you expected a result similar to this one. Really two teams trending in opposite directions.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Nashua South taking on Alvern tonight. They were up 32-7 at the half. Another 3 and out here for Nashua North, and it'll be Kyle Campo back to punt. Nashua South at Keene next week before returning home to take on Londonderry on the 20th. So here's Campo, 2 men back to return. A booming kick fielded at the 45-yard line. Cuts to the left and brought down. A good tackle.
Good tackle. And, you know, that's the other thing. Pinkerton's special teams have been dominant tonight as well. So that was finally a tackle on a special teams play that didn't allow a long kick return.
And it was Robert Leake, the man who received the punt. 3 minutes and 55 seconds and counting. And for Pinkerton, they're just going to run this one out.
Yeah, with running time, there's no reason why they can't run this clock out and end up with a 61 to 19 final.
I know I didn't expect that many points to be put up by either side.
I expected, you know, maybe 30 to 28 or something like that. That's what I thought. I thought it'd be a hard-fought game. I don't know what the, you know, not having R.J. Jenkins, I don't know exactly if you can quantify that, but it certainly made a difference for North offensively. And the thing is North needed to have that offense to keep the ball out of people's hands, because defensively they were really, really challenged tonight.
Jonathan Cooper, the ball carrier there around the right side, tripped up for no gain. 2nd down and 10, 3:15 remaining in the game. And looking ahead, a performance like this can really do one of two things for Nashua North. It can really send them in a downward spiral, or it can motivate them. And next week against BG, they have a good opportunity to make up for that.
Well, it'll hurt them because they're going to now be a game behind Nashua South and a tiebreaker behind.
And with
essentially 2 games behind, and it looks like, you know, you've got to see how things go, because 3 teams in that other scheduling cluster conference, the South Conference, look like Salem and Pinkerton playoff teams. So if Londonderry and Merrimack, if one of those 2 teams proves to be better than, record-wise than North or South, only one Nashua team will, one team out of the West Conference, it's going to be North or South, because Keene, Alvern, and BG just don't look like they're contenders this year, will make the playoffs. So if you're behind South already by a tiebreaker because you lost to them, it's going to be even worse falling a game behind them.
Yeah, and this Nashua North team was 8-3 last season. They're going to fall to 3-3 with a loss. Stay at 1-1 in that West Conference rather. And this is the most points they've given up by far. So some changes perhaps next week on defense. No Kevin Maldonado from the second quarter on, and that was a big difference maker for them, especially in jamming up the middle against this Astros running attack. Give it on the trap up the middle. Met at the line of scrimmage. And offensively, Tom, they looked good at points, definitely stalled out from halftime on. Only 19 points to show for it thus far.
Yeah, well, I mean, once you fall behind that much, you're taking out your offense. So it's not the same game in the second half, Matt.
No Maldonado.
The game was over at halftime, 42-19.
No Maldonado, no R.J. Jenkins. This was a game that seemed to be doomed from the start. And we'll see. We'll keep you updated on R.J. Jenkins because that'd be a huge loss if he were to miss extended time.
Maldonado is just as big a loss. See, you feel that if you lose Jenkins, you lose that open field running, but you've got to let some speed. You've got other players for some speed. Maldonado, he plugs a big hole in that middle, and that's huge.
And every now and then he'll get the ball. Fumble recovery by Nashua North on a big third down. 61-19 they take over with a running clock. And they might not even run a play here. It's been all Pinkerton all night. That backup offense out there on the field. And Nashua North will fall to 3-3 on the year. Pinkerton will move to 5-1 and prove a strong case to move up. They came into the game the number 3 team in the state. Salem at number 1 will be taking on Bishop Girton here at Stellos tomorrow night at 6. And that'll wrap it up. Both sides heading to their respective sidelines. They'll shake hands across the 50-yard line. The final buzzer sounding 61-19 the final. 14 points in the first quarter, 28 in the second, 13 more in the third, and 6 in the fourth for Pinkerton, 7 in the first and 12 in the second for Nashua North. They were blanked in the second half, a 61-19 final. I'd like to thank Pete Johnson and everybody else with ETV. Tom King, who will be on my talk show tomorrow morning, Saturday Sports Report from 7 to 9 on WSMN 1590 AM. Tom will be on at 8:15, so if you want to hear extended analysis of this game, the South Alvern game, and a look ahead to Salem traveling down here to take on BG, be sure to tune in to the Saturday Sports Report tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 on WSMN 1590. A 61-19 win for Pinkerton Astros over the Nashua North Titans. For Tom King, Pete Johnson, everybody else with ETV, this is Matt Neverett signing off.